Action.
Okay, Grant, this is an as-is statement. What this one says is that all warranties on the vehicle come from Subaru, not from Lithia. Okay? Okay, a couple questions, and I'm going to go over the warranty aspects of the vehicle. First one being, how many miles a year do you drive?
About 8,000.
Okay, and you live in?
I live in Tulare.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well the warranty that comes on the vehicle is a 3-year or 36,000 mile limited coverage. What that means is it covers it for manufacturer defect of parts and installation for the first 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. Now when you buy a car, how long do you generally keep them?
For as long as I can.
Okay, perfect. The one thing I will state about on this new vehicle, Brian, you've got a vehicle that has a lot of high-end equipment on it. Fantastic car, top of the line. Anytime you buy a highly reliable car like a Subaru, very similar to Toyota, Honda, I use those two as a reference just because we're commonly considered 3 of the more reliable cars on the road. The only downside to California when you buy a car is that when anything does go wrong with these vehicles, they're not particularly cheap to work on. The biggest problem in California is two-pronged. First one being that almost all these shops are union now, so you're paying over $100 an hour. And then the second is every major component in the vehicle is run by a computer. When those computers break, most of them are all modular, so they don't fix them any longer. They take one out, put a new one back in. So the days of when you used to fix something for a couple $100, unfortunately, doesn't exist any longer. A power window goes out, and it's $400 or $500 to roll your window up or down. So what Subaru does is they adjust that warranty to your driving. Right now, what they showed you out there before was a 7-year, 100,000 mile warranty with a 0 deductible, and that made your payment $562 and some change a month. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay. What I recommend is a very similar coverage. It's a 7-year coverage, just like the one that they showed you out there. It still gives you full coverage on everything on the vehicle. Full roadside service, so if you ever lock your keys in your car, dead battery, flat tire, run out of gas. Unlimited free towing to the nearest service center, no matter how far away you are. And trip interruption. If anything happens to the vehicle and you're stuck out of town, they give you money for food and lodging and money for another car to drive. But instead of it being that 100,000 mile plan, I structure it to what you drive, which is around, like you said, 8,000 miles a year. So it's got 7 years and a 70,000 mile plan. Now for someone who drives 15,000 miles a year, that's not going to work because you would use the miles before the time. In this aspect, it will. 7 years is 7 years. So if it's a 7-year 100 or a 7-year 70, you're going to use the time before you use the miles. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So 7 years is 7 years. So this gives you a 7-year coverage at 70,000 miles, which gives you 10,000 miles a year, and has a $100 deductible. So if you bring it in and your engine has had a failure and they have to replace your engine, let's say a brand new engine is $7,500 with parts and labor, and that's just an estimate, but let's say it's fairly close. You'd give us $100, you'd get a brand new engine in the story taken care of. Okay? By doing that, though, it also would help on your payment. And so instead of it being that 562 number with some change, you'd be looking at your payment being $534.87. Still a little bit more, but like you, I'm sure like I am at my house, are you on a budget?
Yes.
So you know you're already counting on having this $500 and something payment, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you have that payment, but you also had a surprise payment of an extra $2,500 for a car repair, would that be something easy to take care of?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You're right. Not for anybody. But if you had the same type of issue and you had a $2,500 repair and you only had to pay $100, it is still a definite inconvenience, but a lot easier to come up with $100 than it would be to come up with $2,500. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. I think based on that, that puts you in a situation where if you had a ton of disposable income, you know, fixing this would really not be an issue. But if you're like everybody else out there, you know, living day to day, that extra $2,500 can make the difference between, you know, buying groceries or paying your utility bills. I think it's pretty tough to buy a vehicle that's, you know, you're financing close to $30,000 to not protect it. When you bought your house, did you buy homeowner's insurance on it?
Yes, I did.
Why'd you do that?
Because they told me to.
Well, right. You got to.
Yes.
But a house is the biggest investment you're ever going to make when you when you purchase things in life. Number 2 is your automobile. When you buy a house, you always get insurance on it. When you buy a car, I recommend that you always get insurance on it. So at $534.87, you have 7-year coverage, which is going to cover it until October 21st of 2022. Full roadside towing, trip interruption. Literally the most money you show coming out of your pocket is that $534 for the payment, a $100 deductible if anything goes wrong, and until 2022 you drive your new car and you enjoy it. Is that $534 payment going to be something that you can handle?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to print this up for you. Okay, so on this form, what you're saying, up here this just shows it's a 7-year, 70,000 mile plan. It has a $100 deductible. I need your signature right here. And then an initial right here disclosing that I did disclose the $100 deductible. Alright? Sounds good. Okay.